Hello and welcome to Mickey Art. My name's Michelle Edhouse and you will have just seen me pouring Christmas baubles, and there is quite a bit of paint left in my jug. Where are we at? We've got about 1/4 of a cup of paint still in my jug. I will link at the end of this video to that video. So you can see me filling up my jug. But this is a gravy jug, and the cool thing about gravy jugs is that they take the paint from the bottom, but in that process they tend to when you tip and pull back, tip, pull back, tip, pull back, like I did with the thingy whatsits, it kind of mixes it all together. So I'm just going to add a little bit more silver just to kind of break that all up. So what colours have we got in there? We've got silver, we've got turquoise, which had, there's our turquoise, which had silicone in it. We have phthalo blue, which has silicone in it, and we have violet, which also has silicone in it, and there was a little bit of house paint in there as well. So speaking of house paint, I'm going to start with a little bit of house paint just to start us off, just to get a base. This that I'm pouring on is actually a beer bottle. My husband had some friends around for a LAN weekend, and one of them bought this beer, and it's actually a ceramic bottle, and it had a cork in it. It was all very flat. I was like, crikey me, I've got to pour on that. You know me, anything that's vaguely interesting, I've got to pour on it. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm just going to, and I've got it sitting, let me show you what I've got sitting on. I've got it sitting on my Lazy Susan, and then on top of one of my tuna tins. And I'm just going to, I have washed it, but I'm seeing a little bit of sticky from the label. Just going to put a little bit of white just around, all the way around there, just so that I can rub that in and get the whole thing covered, just so that there's a flowable covering on the whole jug bottle. I think this will look very funky for a holiday or Christmas in our household, family gathering, end of December, you know, one of those days. So why am I doing this? Well, as you saw, when you pour paint on just a plain dry object, 3D object, it finds the fastest way down. And that's what it did. It found the fastest way down, and even now we've still got bits that aren't being covered because there's a faster way. And that's really important to see. Anyway, let's get the party started. I'm going to pour and turn, pour and turn, pour and turn. When I get round for the first time, I'm going to stop and just bring it up make sure it's going to cover all. I really don't want white sitting on my vase, jug, whatever it gets used for. Now, when I do vases and jugs and things like that, I get a lot of questions about what do you seal these with? And it really depends on what your intended use for them is. I have the intended use of it being a decorative thing and not putting liquid in. Then I'll just varnish it, just like I do with my paintings. If I have the intended use of there being liquid put in it, I will resin it. And I have just recently put up a video on how to resin a vase, so check that out if you are interested. Now this time around I'm going to start a little bit further up the neck. And when I get back to the beginning again, I'm going to go right up and pour and keep pouring. Look at all that silver coming through. The layers upon layers. Now there is silicone in this paint. And as I've said many times before, if you are pouring a 3D object, let the paint stop flowing, or almost stop. And I'm going to stop at that. And leave it to run. Oh, getting a cloud effect up the top there. Look at this. Must have been getting down to the, because I put house paint in the bottom of the pot, so maybe that's what's starting to come through there. I'm really liking what's on the cardboard. When you're doing acrylic pouring like this on a 3D object, I really highly recommend using slightly thicker paint than you might usually use on a painting, because then it sort of doesn't run away. Let's see if we can get you a better look, see. Now what's going on here? Oops, sorry. I'm actually wondering whether I'm even going to torch this, to be honest. I'm really liking the way it's just gently melded and running all on its own. It's quite warm, even though we've had rain this morning. And so the silicone is, oh, look at that, oh wow, pretty. Look at that. The silicone's popping up, like I'm seeing little cells rising up as we're going. And I'm not seeing a lot of air bubbles, which I'm pleased about. I really like this. I'm gonna just clean off the drips and see if that will help it from slow down its progression. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I am going to move this and deal with what's on the card, because you know what, it's super pretty and it's falling off the side. So let's move you back so you can see what I'm doing. The cool thing about jars like this is they have a hole in the top. As long as I can get my finger out again, because that's quite well. Ugh. Uh-oh. Oh no. Ah. Ugh. Oh, this was silly. That was the dumbest thing I've done all day. Okay, relax. Body, let's get our finger out, please. Thank you. All right. Don't do it like that. There you go. Michelle teaches you how not to do it, because it ruins the lip of your vase. Don't do it like that, okay? Don't do it like that. Alright. I'm going to change your angle so that you can see what I'm doing on here. Be right back. Right, we're back. And you see why we put something under it to capture our drips? It's so pretty. So, first thing we need to do is, now people in the past have recommended to me to put a canvas underneath. Now, one of the things that I need to point out with regards to canvas is a box canvas like I use has nothing to support the middle. So if you're carrying a weight like that bottle on a tin in the center of your canvas, you're actually going to stretch your canvas right out and it's going to look hideous. So that would be my first reason not to put it on a canvas. If you've got those canvas boards, then that might be a cool way to do it. And just like before, I'm actually going to moisten my cardboard so that it can stretch reasonably evenly. And what I use these for is making gift cards or greeting cards, and I've got a video about that, and you can find that on my channel. But isn't it pretty? I like it. But the thing is with this is there are some very pretty spots in it, including that bit that I just poured. And I'm gonna make a cabochon with it. Yay! Look at this. Isn't that funky? I like it. I just heard somebody say, what do you mean by make a cabochon with it, Michelle? Well, this here is a cabochon. It is a cut of gem normally, but these are just glass. You can buy them on Amazon. The link is in the description below to my shop where I have them linked to. But so you've got a flat side and you've got a rounded magnifying type side round. And so you dip the flat side into the paint, leave it to dry, and then you see what you dipped through the rounded side. And I make pendants and all sorts of things with these. So let's just dip that in so you know what I mean by dip. And I've got my cabochon held by a piece of blue tack. This is the one I use, Bostic blue tack. Also linked in my Amazon shop. And see, got that funky eye looking thing, some cool squiggles. So we'll leave that to dry as well with our vase, our bottle, and then it hasn't really ruined this at all. So we can just leave that to dry as well. And then I'll be able to make cards out of that. So I will be back super soon. I don't know what's in there. Let me have a look. Let us have a look. What's in here? Could always just keep dipping cabochons and pouring and dipping and pouring. But I don't think I will. I'm going to leave you guys to count to 3 without me or with me. And but before we go, I'll give you another quick look at our vase. And I'll be back. Should I? Oh. I'm looking at it now and I'm wondering whether I will actually torch it, because just around the top, let's do that. Just where there was those big smears of white, it's just sort of popped a bit of colour back through. And it's still moving, so they're going to stretch and do some interesting things. So I'm looking forward to showing you what this comes out like when it's done. Ready? 3, 2, 1. And it's dry. And it's very pretty in my opinion. And I think that would hold something quite delicious as a centerpiece for a dinner table or a sideboard or something, or even pop a candle in that, couldn't you? And then have wax dribbling down it, adding to it. I mean, really, it could be used for all sorts of things, or just sit on a mantelpiece looking pretty, tie a bit of tinsel around it. Whatever you wanted to do. I quite like that. I'm really getting into this whole blue holiday theme. I'm liking it a lot. So our runoff has, it's not completely dry, but I'm going to show it to you anyway. Well, the paint is dry, but because I had it sitting on glass, the cardboard is still pliable, if you know what I mean. But it's got some really cool stuff in here. I really like it. I really like it. I do. And look at that. These are the cells that came up after I dipped in the middle there. That's super cool. Ah! I said focus and you went out of focus. What is this? Hello? There we go. I think I might have to save my pennies and buy myself a different camera other than my phone. Talking of the dip, here she blows. I like it a lot. A real lot. You're kidding me, right? It so looks like an eye. Well, there it looks like a head, and there's the knees and the baby arms and head raised to the sky. Whatever you see in there. What happens if I turn it upside down? Anyway, I like that. And what happened to our bits that we poured straight into this one is looking, was looking until it decided it was going to go out of focus. There it is. This looks really cool, except there's a little blemish. Can you see that? But that's okay. When I put resin over that, it's going to be fine. Unfortunately, this one I stuck my finger in, so it's pretty fugly, and it's just going to get tossed into some water to soak. It's probably a bit too early, but I'm going to take these to Australia with me, so I have already resined these with UV resin. So I now have earrings that fall off the plate. Oh, crikey me. Hello. Oh my goodness me, this is redonkulous. Does not wish to sit. There we go. Focused. There's my new earrings. And I've got resin on them, and they will be very cute with a couple of my outfits I'm taking to facilitators. So, excited. So how did I resin? That pendant's actually not dry enough for me to show you on that. So what I thought I would do is show you on the pendant that, where is it gone? There it is, that I used as an example. So these pendants, these cabochon pendants, cannot be set back sideways, flat. Words, where are you? They can't be set flat. It doesn't want to focus on that because it's too skinny. Because this bit sits down below the back. So I'm going to hang it over the edge of a flat lid. Let me get you in focus, hold on. Alright, that took a bit of negotiation. How does it get better than that? Alright, so I've got my UV resin. This is the one that I've purchased. It's the only one I've ever used. Not saying it's the best, but this is my first ever bottle. You just got to make sure you keep the cap on when you're not using it, otherwise you are going to end up with the end becoming way gunked up. And that is as hard as it is. Now, if it's a nice bright sunny day, which it's not here, it's raining. My brother-in-law and family are coming back to New Zealand from England to live on Friday, and I think this rain is getting all of its rain out of its system so they can have beautiful weather. Anyway, if it was a sunny day, you'd just leave this in the sun. But it's not, so I've got my little UV torch that I bought on YouTube. It gives off a blue UV light, and I'm not going to make you sit here for 3 minutes until it's supposedly done, but I will be right back. And there it is. There's the tap test. It's all done. How cool is that? It's actually really warm from the chemical reaction. It's quite bizarre really, but that is super quick. If you wanted to, that is definitely a way of making pendants quickly. Ta-da! Anyway, my piece de resistance of the day is of course the vase, the bottle, the ceramic thing. I know that some of you, I can't remember whether I talked about this earlier when I was pouring. Oh, this is the UV torch that I bought. It's on Amazon. Use the link below. I think it's in my shop, so jump in there. So sealing it, yes, absolutely. I would use a spray varnish if you are planning to use it with water. Resin it definitely, and I have just recently released a video on how to resin a vase. Well, the way I resin vases, it's probably not the best way, but that's how I do it. And what else is possible? How much more fun can we have? I adore you guys. I'm having fun. And if you want to come join me on the next live, make sure you signed up on the email list so that you get your 24 hours notice. If you want to support me through Patreon, I would be super, super, super grateful. I've got lots of really cool little gifts and things that happen on that. Or you can just watch the ads at the beginning of my videos, and I get paid a few cents each time you do that, for if you watch at least 30 seconds of the ad. Anyway, I'm off to pick Damo up from school. As I said, it's raining. So I adore you. I adore this. And how much fun can you have? See you real soon. Bye bye.